Many years ago, in a faraway country, there was a highly skilled, young, and famous painter. He decided to create a truly great portrait, a lively portrait full of the joy of God, a portrait of a man whose eyes radiated eternal peace. He was so determined that this portrait should be a masterpiece. Therefore, he set out to find someone whose face reflected godliness with the eternal ethereal light. The artist roamed from village to village, from jungle to jungle, in search of his subject. And at last, he came across a shepherd with shining eyes, with a face and features that held the promise of some heavenly home. Just one look was enough to convince the artist that God was present in this young man. The artist painted a portrait of the young shepherd. Millions of copies of the portrait were made, and it was sold far and wide. People felt great gratitude just being able to hang the picture on their walls. After a spell of some 20 years, now the artist had grown old. He decided to paint another portrait. His experience had shown him that life is not all goodness, that Satan also exists in man. Therefore, now the idea of painting a picture of Satan persisted in the artist's mind. He thought to himself, if I finish this project, then the two pictures would complement each other. It would show the complete man. He had already done a painting of godliness. Now he wanted to portray evil incarnate. He sought a man who was not a man but an embodiment of Satan. He went to gambling dens, to bars, and to madhouses. He was very keen in searching for a subject that had to be full of hell's fire. His face had to show all that is evil, ugly, and sadistic. After a long search, the artist finally met a prisoner in a jail. The man had committed 7 murders and had been sentenced to be hanged in a few days. Hell was evident in the man's eyes. They spouted hate. His face was the ugliest one could possibly hope to find. The artist began to paint him. When he had completed the portrait, he brought out his earlier picture and set it by the side of the new painting for contrast. It was difficult to assess which was better from an artistic point of view. Both were marvelous. He stood staring at both of them, and then he heard a sob. He turned and saw the chained prisoner crying. The artist was bewildered. He asked, "My friend, why are you crying? Do these pictures disturb you?" The prisoner said, "I have been trying to hide something from you all this time. But today, I am lost. You obviously do not know that the first picture is also of me. Both portraits are of me. I am the same shepherd you met 20 years ago in the hills. I cry for my downfall in the last 20 years. I have fallen from heaven to hell, from God to Satan." And that's how the story ends. In life, we all have two converse sides. Two portraits of everyone are possible. In each one of us, both God and Satan exist. In each one of us, there is the possibility of heaven and the possibility of hell. You see, when we praise someone for their good, gentle, and kind behavior, it simply means that they chose to nurture the God part of their portrait in them, and they simply kept the Satan part of their portrait hidden. In other words, we are not exposed to their satanic mind. A bouquet of beautiful roses can grow in us. A heap of mud can also pile up in us. Every one of us swings between these two extremes. We can attain to either of these extremes. Fortunate are those who aspire to the eternal godliness grow in them. How about you?